Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another top 5 ranked video for you. Today, we're doing Benchmade. This is one that you guys have really requested ever since I started doing these. Go back and look at the other ones. I'm going to make a special playlist for these top 5 ranked ones, and I will try and link that at the end so you guys can go check out the other two. I don't know how many more of these I'm going to do because brand has to have at least 5 distinctive models, so it's kind of hard to do like Chris Reeve and stuff like that, and Hinder would be really pushing it. I'm probably going to do a ProTech one and maybe do a Microtech one, but both of those are going to be pretty far off because there's still a couple of models I want to get my hands on. All this is stuff that I actually own and enjoy, and in the future it may be stuff that I just have experience with. There may be some pictures in the future ones, but this one still, I actually own all of these. So let's get going without any further ado. Number 5 is one that I don't think I've even shown you guys, honestly. This is the Crooked River. I've had this for a little while. Really like it. It is a big old stonker. This is the full-size Crooked River, not the mini. 4-inch blade. It's just a big old thing. It's from the Hunt series, as the aesthetics would indicate. It's got the little orange ring around the pivot, and then on the pivot collar, and then it's got an orange backspacer and the diamond wood handles and these kind of full bolsters, giving it, sort of a little bit of an old-timey hunting knife look. But I just love the feel of it in the hand, and I like that it's a big old bruiser. Benchmade does a few of these, but this is the kind of the one I like the most of the big knives, and I like the shape of that clip point blade. Downside is it's $221, and it's S30V steel. So, there's that. But it still has all that good fidgetiness, from Benchmade. I like this knife so much that I'm probably going to sell it. So let me explain. It's on the custom shop. If you don't go to Benchmade's custom shop, you're going to see another custom shop knife coming up as well. But they give you lots of different choices in blade steel and everything. And yeah, it's like I said, this was $221. The custom shop version I want is $330 with an S30V blade and carbon, just a little more modern looking, and blue touches instead of the orange. I don't hunt, so I don't really care about the orange stuff. That's not a color that appeals to me. But I like this enough that I want one with better steel and, and just a little bit more modern looks. And that is, $330. Pretty expensive, but still, I don't know, it might be worth it to me. I think I might be selling this and getting the custom one. But anyway, I do like the full-size Crooked River a whole lot. Next up would be the Super Freak. I'm kind of surprised this one is this low, but this is a pretty hard list to do. Super Freak, $195, M4 steel. These really nice looking multi-layer G10 scales with the red accents. It's really cool looking. I do have to say, and the ergos on this are just outstanding. Don't care much for the regular Freak with the little rubber inserts, but this 560 BK-1 is a great knife. Downside, coated blade. Never a fan of the coated blade, but it's a downside. Benchmade's across the board. If it has a tool steel, a non-stainless steel, they're going to coat it. And that's just the way it is. They don't trust us mere mortals, I guess, to take care of non-coated, non-stainless blades. But I see it's one of the first production ones. It doesn't really matter much to me. But had this for a long time. Really like it. It's very well broken in, deep carry clip and all that stuff. It's just a great knife. Excellent. Can't believe it's not higher up the list, but Benchmade's made some good ones. Next up, another one, surprised it's not so high up the list, but I'll explain why, would be the Anthem. This is the full titanium integral. It is discontinued, unfortunately. It uses an axis lock, but not the same. It's got like a coil spring in there instead of the Omega springs. I did change the pocket clip on mine because the one that comes with it is hideous. So didn't want to deal with that anymore. So I did change the pocket clip. But I just love the Anthem. It's just the noises it makes. It's so smooth. It's running on bearings where everything else you see here is on washers. And it's just excellence. I just love it. And now they changed the pocket clip. I like the way it looks as well. These were a little less than 400 or right around 400 when they were new. The only reason it's not higher up the list is A, it's discontinued, and B, it's starting to go nuts with the price on the secondary. So the price that you have to pay for one now, I don't put it up as high. I don't know if it's a widespread thing. I just took a glance before I started on here, and I saw them already listing at $650, $700. This was just recently discontinued last year, so they're going up and up and up, and I don't think it's going to get any better. So that's the only reason why it's not higher up the list. But the Anthem is pretty awesome. Second, number 2 would be the 940, a classic Benchmade. It's been around for a very long time. I think it just celebrated its 20th anniversary. Fantastic knife. This is a 940-1 with the S90V and the carbon fiber. I really like to have one of the titanium ones. I missed out on those. I had one come through here, but I wasn't able to buy it because it was a loaner from Benchmade. They wouldn't let me buy it. And now I really do want to find one of those. But other than that, I like this one the best. S90V, not the easiest stuff in the world to sharpen, but it's not too bad if you take your time and you have diamonds. But love the 940 classic design. The only reason why it's not number 1 is they're pretty pricey. It's starting about $175 now. This one's $272. It's the most expensive. I think maybe the Thai one's even more than that. I can't remember now, but still, they're getting a little pricey. And the blade on these, iconic blade shape, great pierce and all that. Not the best slicers in the world. They're usually, just blade stock, and it's just that really low saber grind. They're not the most awesome slicers in the world. So that's the only reason why it's probably not number 1, because the 940 is such an icon. So the honorable mentions are kind of not individual knives. It's a category. The minis. Benchmade does a great job with minis. I have 3 of them here. This is the new 945 that's not out yet at the time this is coming up. The 945 BK-1 was out with a G10 and black, a black coated blade, but this is the more standard one. Comes out in April, I believe. And then the mini, kind of the mini Super Freak. This is the S90V Carbon Freak Mini, and the mini Bugout. They just do a really good job with minis. They usually do a good job on the ergos. They scale stuff down in the right way. Some companies, just to make a mini, they just make it shorter, and they don't consider anything else, where I think Benchmade really does. And yeah, there's a lot of them. The honorable mention is not the Griptilian. I'm just, spoiler alert, it's not number 1. It is notable by its absence. That's one that I didn't think they did that good a job with the mini, but it's the only one. But that's just my hands. The mini Griptilian, I know people love them, but I don't like them in my hand. Same with the regular Griptilian. That's why it's not on here. Probably would have been in the 20CV G10 version if this hadn't come into existence. I just like this better, so that's why that's not on here either. But anyway, yeah, the minis are great. Some of them are a little pricey, definitely. This one is, but it's displaced a lot of other knives from my collection, so I can't argue with the price on it too much. All right, so what is numero uno? What is number 1? This may be a bit controversial, because I don't know. This is a knife that gets a lot of hate, but it's by far their best-selling model, and mods galore for it. You know what I'm talking about. It is the Bugout. So the 2 I have here are on the more expensive end of the spectrum. This is a custom shop with an M4 blade and G10 handles, and this is the new high-end one with the S90V and the carbon fiber. Price range for a standard kind of grivery handle one, something like what this mini is. This is the CF Elite. There we go. Words, Brian. This is the CF Elite, so it's a little bit more. But anyway, in the grivery kind of basic one, $131 up to $253 for this carbon and S90V version. I just love the Bugout, and so does everyone else. I don't mind the plain old grivery one. The base one is fine too. Price is getting up there for S30V and fancy plastic handles, but you hear complaints about the flex and everything, and I don't really notice that. And when you're actually using it, you especially don't notice it in the mini. If you have smaller hands and you want the mini Bugout, definitely you don't notice it hardly at all, because it's just smaller. It's just physics. It's going to flex less anyway. But you hear people complain about them. Oh, it's cheap plastic and they're too flimsy and blah blah blah. But they're buying them. And if you want to modify one, other than maybe the PM2 or a Hinder XM18, I can't think of any knife that has a more robust mod community than the Bugout. You can buy scales, you can buy backspacers to replace the standoffs, you can buy any color of thumb studs and standoffs and whatever that you want. You know, the world's your oyster when you want to modify one of these things. And a lot of people do. And they sink a lot of money into them because it's just, at the end of the day, and that's why Benchmade, I think, is making fancier and fancier versions, because this was designed to be an inexpensive, lightweight, you know, EDC knife, but they nailed on such a good design, and it's so popular. There's the blade shape, the very neutral feeling handle, the slimness, the lightness. Everybody wanted them in more expensive versions, so Benchmade is complying. They saw people modifying. They saw people sinking $250 into a customized one. So they gave us a $250 one customized the way that they would have done it. And it's a great knife. And I think that's a great strategy for Benchmade. They're selling a ton of these. Keep making them. You know, it's just like, you know, Dodge with you have a popular selling car, you know, drop a Hellcat in it. And that's kind of what they did here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Yeah, this is my number one. Maybe a slightly controversial pick, but I don't think so if you're being honest with yourself. I think a lot of the Bugout hate's just kind of people being more manly than they actually are, thinking that it's too flimsy of a knife for them when it probably really isn't. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.